In Kenya, all 8 passengers and 2 crew members on board a missing passenger plane have been confirmed as dead. Their bodies are due to be transported to Naivasha. The Fly SAS aircraft disappeared on Tuesday evening. Its wreckage was found early on Thursday morning. Investigations into the cause of the crash are underway. In a statement, Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta has expressed sadness at the incident, pledging a full review and probe into the tragedy. Well, our reporter Robert Nagila joins me now. You've just returned from the area. We now know that there were no survivors. What more can you tell us?
Well, it's been very difficult for the rescuers who went up there because of the terrain. We know that the wreckage was fast-spotted this morning, that is Thursday morning at about 6:45. That's almost 48 hours after the plane disappeared from radar.
So the weather had a lot to do with this.
It had a lot to do with it. And what happened today, going by yesterday's experience, the military then knew they had a small window of about 15 to 30 minutes before cloud cover came in again. So immediately after sunrise, they went out and the window opened and they managed to spot the aircraft on the ground, get its exact location and coordinates, send them back before the clouds again closed the airspace. So you had about 50 rescuers made up of military, police, the Red Cross and other agencies, all together with some civilians going up there. It's a 5-kilometer trek. Now, when you get to the foot of the Aberdare range, it's about 9 kilometers to the peak. But because of the terrain itself...
And whereabouts is the plane located?
Now, this is the interesting bit, because they had to climb the 9 kilometers, which took them about 5.5 hours because of the terrain. And once they were on top, they then had to descend to the other side, because the plane had actually crashed on the opposite side at a place called Elephant Hills. So that's where the wreckage was. Unfortunately, at about 12:28, that's when they confirmed, the ground team confirmed they had located the wreckage. It took them another half an hour to get there. And about an hour later, they confirmed that there were no survivors.
Okay. So, I mean, any idea now what the cause of the crash has been? Have the authorities said anything yet?
Well, this effort has now switched from rescue to recovery. The first thing they'll be looking for, investigators were part of that group that went in, and we expect them to be up there tomorrow again. The first thing they'll be looking for is the black box.
And it did have one.
It did have one, we understand. We've not been told whether it was found or not. And then immediately after that, they'll also go back to the final moments of that flight. What was going on inside the cockpit? Were they aware where they were before they lost contact with Nairobi? Were they supposed to be there? Were they directed there? So there are still a lot of questions that need to be answered. We know that authorities on the ground have said that bad weather has hampered the rescue efforts, and that could also be a cause, but it's still too early to tell. Investigators from the Ministry of Transport are leading this together with the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority. So we expect to start here to get a preliminary report on the investigations in the coming days, probably early next week.
Okay, well, thank you very much for coming in and updating us on that situation, Robert.